Part of my background is as a television reporter. I was a television reporter for Channel 8 for 17 years. And I also worked with local schools for 12 years. One of the most disturbing things I've seen over the years has been a change in journalism, a change in the way that the media deals with issues. I had an Oregonian reporter once tell me that his job was to show what the problems were, not what the solutions were. And I looked at him and I said, you're kidding, right? He said, no, that's my job. I said, no, that's not your job. Your job is to show what the situation is, to tell the story about what's really going on. That's the problems and the solutions. If there aren't any solutions, then sure, don't say anything. But if there are some possible solutions, then you should be talking about them. That's what I want to ask you folks about. That's what I'd like to start you off with. Now, you have already brought your things forward in terms of some of the solutions that you're working with. But I'd really like to have a sense of, not a long description, because I don't think we're going to have the time for that, but I'd really like to have a sense of what your solutions might look like. What could we do next that would really have an impact? And give me just one, don't give me 20, because I know you have a list of 20. I've heard her list. I've heard Joanne's list too, so. But I'd really like to have one thing that could be done that would have an impact.
Well, I mean, I think that the thing that stays on everyone's mind is particularly how Measure 11 is impacting people. It's incredibly disproportionate, the number of people of color who get charged and sent to prison for it. And I think for us at Partnership for Safety and Justice, what we're trying to do is really look at youth who get charged with Measure 11 and how they end up with the adult felony conviction that Emmanuel was talking about that is life-ruining. And I think addressing youth and actually part of the new task force on public safety that's being created has a specific charge to look at those youth, and I think we need to create more momentum once again to make that happen, because we're ruining young people's lives. I mean, they need to be held accountable for committing crimes, and that's right. But it's not right to sort of universally saddle young people with a lifelong felony conviction that creates barriers to stable housing, education, jobs that are ultimately going to lead to their success.
No. That's a good one. You said one. I was trying to be thoughtful about the one. And since you said one, I think the most important thing that we can do is prepare to participate fully in the fairness hearing that Judge Michael Simon will set as it relates to the Department of Justice settlement agreement. Because the current agreement that the auditor and the IPR director and the police chief and others think that they're implementing has had no public input. The day that it came in front of the city council, there was draft 2 that was presented to the city council, and that's what they voted on. But the public had not seen it, did not have a chance to weigh in, and it's really important that we don't allow the city of Portland to pretend that there was like a public process. We, the public, must weigh in on what a settlement agreement looks like and what will work and what doesn't work. We are about to spend $26 million over the next 5 years, and the people that are already out of the gate spending the money are not the people that we want in charge of reforming Portland Place.
I was going to say, separate from vast restructuring where we take money and put it into housing and education and drug treatment so that we don't have people committing crimes, I think that we, as all of us can do, is educate ourselves about our sentencing laws that are currently on the books and about the lack of discretion. I can't tell you the number of times that we have jury trials and our clients are found guilty, and we're not allowed to talk to jurors unless jurors approach us. And afterwards, when they find out what the defendant, what my client got, they are devastated that they sent a young man or a young woman or a person to prison for so long. or they're devastated to know about what they weren't allowed to know beforehand. So I would say educate yourselves about what ballot initiatives are being proposed and voted on, educate yourselves about sentencing laws, educate yourself about who is facing charges and how long their sentences are potentially going to be, and show up for jury duty and actually stay there. That doesn't fix the whole problem, but it's definitely helpful to have educated jurors who are willing to be that one lone person to say, I'm not convicting this person.
Piggyback off what Cia said, just education. And I've been talking about this maybe a few months now, and it may sound a little strange, but I'll say it. Having some type of class or some type of curriculum in the schools for the young adults, for the young kids. And it almost sounds crazy, but if we teach them how to act in public, if we teach them how to hold on to the steering wheel when they know they've done nothing wrong, or give them know your rights training, and give them all the policies and procedures, and we help them not get killed, we help them not go to prison, we help keep these families together. So education from 5th grade on up, inside and outside of the prison and the school system.
Interesting. Well, we have time right now.